Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about frames. It is a second type of weak slot and filler structure. So when these frames are used, natural language understanding require inference, that is assumption about what is typically true of the object or situation under consideration. When we are talking about natural language processing, or when we want to do natural language processing, then we require assumption about object, what is typically true about the object, and what are the situation under consideration. For such type of structures we need frames. So what is frame and how we create these frames? A frame is a collection of attributes or slots and associated values that describe some real world entities. In frames we have two types of values. First, that is slot, or you can say collection of attributes. A slot will have different attributes, and filler that will describe some real world entity. Now consider a frame for book. In book we have one column as slot and other column as filler. In slot we have different attributes about book. So what are the different attributes a book can have? It can have who is the publisher of the book. Like for the book, the publisher is TMH. What is the title of the book? That is AI. Who is the author of the book? That is Sanjay. So this was the frame of the book. This frame can have more values, like what are the number of pages, year, what was the edition of the book. So a book can have different slots, and this slot will have different fillers, and this filler will describe some real world entity. Like publisher is a slot, but TMH is a real world entity. Title is a slot, but AI is a real world entity. So a frame is a collection of attributes or slot and associated values that describe some real world entities. We will have some attributes about the object and some real world entities related to that object. A frame is similar to a record structure, and corresponding to the fields and value are slots and slot fillers. How do we store a record? Suppose I want to store a record about a student. Then what we will require some information about students, like what is the name of the student, in which year the student is, what is the branch of the student, what is the height of the student, what is the weight of the student. So first we will create a slot. Like we have created a slot for our book. Suppose we want to create a slot for the student, then there will be different slot like name, age, branch, year, height, which is similar to a record structure. In record structure we do the same thing. We first create the different attributes, and now these attributes will have some real world entities. Like for a student, name is Sanjay, age is 22, branch is computer science, year is, or you can say year of passing, that is 2017, height is 5.10 inch. So a frame is similar to a record structure, and corresponding to fields and values are slot and slot filler. This, for the example of book, we have different slot values, and we have real world entities, or you can slot fillers. Procedure attached to the slots are called procedural attachment. Suppose we are attaching something to our frames, then that are called as procedural attachments. These can be three types: if needed, defaults, if added. Suppose in the example of frame for a book, we have a slot about in slot we have attributes publisher, title and author. Now first type of attachment, if needed. Now if we need some more information about the book, that is number of pages, or what is the content in the book, which type of the book is, what is the number of pages in the book, what was the edition of the book. So if needed, type of attachment. Defaults like default publisher, title and author, that is present. If added, suppose we add something new to the, suppose for example for book, suppose we add something new, that is which category this book belongs. So if added, so there are three types of procedural attachments. Frames can be attached to another frames, creating a network of frames. A single frame will not describe about all the objects, so we can create different frames for different objects, and now we can link these frames. For example, we can have frame for a book, we can have frame for a person like name, age, branch, year, height, and we can have frame for publisher, which type of books the publisher publish, age of what is the age of the publisher, means from how many years the book is publisher is publishing the book, which category of book that publisher publish. So we can have different frames, and we can create a network between these frames. So this was all about the frame. Thank you.